What's going on, guys? Jay the Black here. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. I want to talk about Angela Simmons. There have been rumors going around that her and Yo Gotti have broken up. I think that might be more than rumors. The two went from posting a lot, being around each other and with each other. They no longer are, and I believe she's no longer following him on the socials. Now, there's a lot going on here that people don't want to talk about, and I'm going to talk about it because I feel like Angela is at a point in her life where I do think she wants a long-term commitment. And I don't think he's willing to give that. Also, I think that she was spooked by the legal issues that may come Yo Gotti's way. There's just a lot going on with him out there in Memphis. He lost his brother recently. It's a lot of crazy things going on out there in Memphis. And there are people speaking that, he could get caught up in the situation that's going on there. We had the Young Dolph situation and he could be tied into that legally. And there are people who are saying that she could be spooked by that. Also, there was a rumor that she could be jealous of his relationship, even though it's more of a business thing, with Glorilla. I put nothing past the Western woman, especially a Glorilla. She was caught up in a little controversy that people sort of forgot about when she was trying to get the attention of a certain NBA player who I believe was married at the time, or he had just got out of his marriage. She was kind of sending, choosing signals his way. Though people want to play the morality, there's no morality in the industry. These people will do whatever and whenever, right? But anyway, this relationship was doomed to fail. Yo Gotti put it out there in a song that he was looking to get with Angela Simmons. This was years ago. She could have been got with him. Why didn't she then? Especially her supporters, they're celebrating when they get together, talking about how they manifested. They want this relationship to work with her because these other relationships have not worked out for her because she has not chose the right type of dudes. And when she had a good dude around her, like Romeo Miller, she didn't really want to deal with Romeo Miller like that. She wanted the bad boys, So when I look at her situation now with Yo Gotti, one of the things that people aren't bringing up is that you look at this relationship is built off finances, money, giving her a certain lifestyle. Not to say that she couldn't afford her own things, but no other man out, no other rapper out here who has the resources of a Yo Gotti was willing to do the things for her that she wanted, have the public relationships. I gotta understand, there are people out here, they don't want a public relationship. They would rather date somebody in private and not in public. But Yo Gotti was willing to have a public relationship with Angela Simmons, willing to splurge on her, right? They're on red carpets with each other, right? He's buying her expensive gifts. And I think that Angela wanted that long term. She wanted a commitment. I don't think he wanted to give her that commitment. And also, again, the legal situation, that hasn't gone away. At any time, Yo Gotti could be put up in a RICO. And it ain't just me saying it. Go look at all the other people who extensively on YouTube speak about the situation in Memphis in regards to Yo Gotti, in regards to Young Dolph and all of that. They are still saying that he could be brought into. That's what they're saying. So it's not me just making up things. Go look at the people who follow the situation closely. Look at what they're saying. And I can understand that Angela Simmons looks at that situation and it's two things. If she stays, she wants a commitment. If he ain't willing to give her a commitment, she don't want to stay. But either way, it was never going to work because one, he has a certain lifestyle. Is he just for one woman? Do y'all really believe that these rappers are just for one woman? And the jealousy rumor. Listen, it depends on how close him and Glorilla are. It don't seem like they're that close publicly. She does her own thing and he does his, right? So I can't factor that into it. But I can look at a situation where if she's going to stay with him long term, she probably wants a commitment and he's not willing to do that. And that's why I don't understand why women get with men. There are a lot of rich men out here. A lot of these rich men are not celebrities, but you have women who want a monogamous relationship. They want to be able to say that they're with somebody that they want to be with. That's the key word. They want to be with. That's one of the things I hear from women. Women will say, you just want me to settle, right? I'm not just going to settle for anything. But then you see the dude that they're with, he's always dusty. They always have a track record of getting with dusty men, but then claim they're not going to settle. Ultimately, this relationship, like I said, was doomed to fail due to the fact that, Angela I think that she wants to display herself as like a strong, independent, single mother, but you got Yo Gotti who is doing all these things for you. She sees what people say. She doesn't want to come off as a gold digger. Also, when you're in a relationship, right? You're in a long-term relationship, or you are seeking to get married. There are certain things that the guy that you're with are gonna want you to do, i.e., stop the thirst trapping and some of those things. Not to say that he wouldn't want a guy who's dating Angela wouldn't want her to look good, but it's like, there's a certain cap on that. You know what I'm saying? There's a certain cap on that. Just like with these gold digger relationships. I'm not calling her a gold digger, but I'm just saying. When you women date men for money and resources, there's gonna be a cap to it. It's gonna end unless that man marry you. And that's why I say that maybe Yo Gotti just was never gonna look for marriage in regards to taking this long term. That it just never works. When you're dating celebrity men, one thing that you should not expect is monogamy. For the most part, that man to marry you. It rarely happens. If you're a woman like Angela, it's rarely happens. Like a lot of these successful men, have y'all noticed that these successful men, they either are with the woman they were with before they became successful, or they end up dating a woman who's very, very low key. She's not an influencer. She's not a reality TV personality. She's not a singer. She's not a rap. None of that, right? She's not acting none of that. She's very, very low key. You know why? Because they want their private life to be private. Doesn't mean that you won't see them together, but they want their private life to be private. And I think Angela still wants to do her. She still wants to post the things that she posts, because again, she's elevated her thirst trapping to a new level recently. And maybe Yo has told her about that, and she said, you know what, maybe this is not going to work. You're not offering no commitment. Why should I listen to you in regards to what I post online? That's why a lot of these relationships always fail. When you get into a relationship with a woman based off her physical appearance, and y'all really don't have much in common except spending money, being famous maybe, but you ultimately have to look at the person and who they are. And I just don't think that she wants to stop doing what she's doing. People say, well, she makes money off of it. Like, how? I don't see where the money making coming from. All these women are CEOs. All these women own businesses, right? Have y'all noticed all these women own businesses? All these women are successful, but where are the businesses and where's the success, right? I've seen women online who are successful, right? They have endorsement deals. They have all these different things going on. You know that they're probably making money. But I think some of these women just have a love of just showing their bodies off. And Angela is that. She wants to be that girl. And the summer is coming up. And these women want to be single for the summer. They don't want to be tied up in no relationship once the summer comes, and the summer's almost here, and these women want to be single. They want to be getting flued out to parties, and they want to go to like vacation spots. People say, well, she could do that with her boyfriend. Yeah, but it ain't as fun if she can't flirt like she want to, you know what I'm saying, and post all the thirst traps she want. Listen, this relationship was doomed to fail. All these heifers were rooting for them. That's why it makes me chuckle, because all these women want to be like Angela so they can get a Yo Gotti. But those relationships never work. Either because Angela wants to do what she wants to do, or Yo Gotti just doesn't have time to make no wives out here. It's there for a good time, but not a long time. And he was there for a good time. Maybe she was too. But I want y'all to understand that no matter how Angela Simmons looks, no matter how great of a mom she is to her son, she too can be dumped. That's what I'm saying. This is the whole thing about this, right? Is that no matter how good a woman looks, no matter how much she takes care of her business, right? She too could end up being dumped. These women are in and out of relationships. At what point are you going to leave the streets? At what point are you going to say, you know what, I'm done with the streets. I want to be in a long-term relationship. A lot of these women, they never get to that point. You want to know why? It's because a lot of them don't know what they want. They're very confused. They're not going to really know what they want until they get into their 40s or in their 50s. That now all of a sudden they want a good man. When they've been overlooking good men for so long. Look at all the good men she probably overlooked by getting into a relationship with Yo Gotti. She looked at the lifestyle Yo Gotti has, the fact that he's well known, he's a street dude. She likes street dudes. And she gets into a relationship with him when she's overlooked all these guys that would have married her. Doesn't mean that she's downgrading. So you mean only thugs got money? That's insane. So we know why these relationships happen. And if you get into relationships for the wrong reasons or with the wrong people, they're never going to work. They're never going to work. So let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts, like this video and share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, X, Instagram. Check out all the other videos in the channel and the links in the description box. And I'll see y'all next one.